So like I said, the first one is, since we already know that to get 720-degree flare, we need 2 of this. We need 2 of this full flare. Yes, we need 2 of this full flare to give us 720-degree flare. Now, how do we go about that? All we need to do now is to say, or we have to split our waist measurement into 2. That is, if you are making a skirt, for example, or whatever it is, the radius that you are using, split it into 2. Okay, we have been working with waist 27. Now we are looking for 720-degree flare, and I said to get that you need 2 of this. Now our waist is 27, so it's going to be 27 divided by 2. That will give us 13.5. Isn't it? Yes, that will give us 30.5. Now this 30.5 now, we are now going to use this formula, which is 6.28, to divide 30.5. So that we say 6.28. When we divide it, we are going to get 2.14. So this is the formula we are going to use, so that by the time you add your length to it, you cut out. Now, but you are going to cut 2 of this. You fold your fabric first. Using this calculation, you cut, keep it on one side. You fold another fabric. Using the same calculation, you cut. At the end of the day, you join both together to give you 720-degree flare. I want to believe that is well understood. For you to get 720-degree flare, you need 2 of 360. Now to get that 2 of 360, you have to split your waist, or whatever measurement you are using, split it into 2. Whatever answer you get, divide it by the formula for a full scale, which is 6.28. That is what you will use to cut, and you are cutting 2 of it, after which you join them together to have 720-degree flare. Now the difference between this 360, 180, 720 is just in the fullness. That is just it. Is in the fullness. So 720-degree flare is going to give you more volume, more fullness than 360-degree flare. So the difference is in the fullness. So having said that now, like I told you, there are 2 ways you can actually do it. We have done the first part. The second part now will be, okay, I don't want to divide my waist into 2. I don't want to divide whatever it is I'm looking for. Maybe is sleeve, my round sleeve, or whatever it is. I don't want to divide it into 2. I just want to go straight. How would you do that? Remember, there is something we call pi, and I said pi is a constant, which is 3.14. So we have 2 pi, we have 3 pi, we have 4 pi, just on and on. When you say 2 pi, it means 2 times 3.14. When you say 3 pi, it means 3 times 3.14. When you say 4 pi, it means 4 times 3.14. So 2 times 3.14 will give us 6.28, which is a full circle. Then 3 times 3.14 will give us 9.42. Then if you say 4 times 3.14, that will give us 12 what should that give us now? This is this times this is, that's 12 sorry, let me just use my calculator to do that. Okay, that's 12.56. Okay, so you can continue to go on 5 pi, 6 pi, 7 pi, 8 pi, on and on. So since we already know that this is 4 pi and 4 pi is 12.56, it therefore means that instead of splitting your waist into 2 to get this before dividing it by this, you simply say waist, which is 27, is equals to 27 divided by 12.56. That will give us 2.14. So it's the same thing with this. Whether you go through this route, you're still going to get the same answer. And the bottom line still remains, you are cutting 2 of this. Whether you go through this route, you need 2. Whether you go through this route, you need 2. Okay? The difference between this and this is just that here you don't have to divide anything. You just take the waist the way it is and you just go ahead to divide it using this figure. But if you say, oh, I don't want to do this, let me do this, it means you have to split your waist into 2 before dividing it by this formula. So I just hope you understand it. Whichever one that you find easy, go ahead and do it. I would advise that you take note of all these things so that when you want to cut each of these flay, you will not find it very difficult. I know some of you say, oh, you're talking too much, why don't you just go ahead and give us all the formulas? The truth is that if I have just come to say, okay, formula for 90-degree flay is 1.75, the one for 180 is 3.14, the one for 360 is 6.28, you may even forget. That's the truth, you may even forget. But teaching you how everything came about will be easier for you to remember. So even if you forget that the formula for 360 is 6.2 and you know that the formula for a full circle is 2 pi r. With this, and you know that pi is a constant, which is 3.14. So with all this, there is no way you cannot get the formula to calculate any circle of your choice. Do you get? So having done that now, we have been able to achieve that. How to calculate our 90-degree, our 180, 360, and even 720-degree. So with this now, I want to believe that even 1,440-degree flay will no longer be a problem. It will be a problem because you already know to get any flay that is above this full circle, you need double, triple, multiples of these full circles. So if we are to get 1,440-degree flay, it simply means that we need 4 of 360. We need 4 of 360. For 1,440, we need 4. And since we need 4 of 360, you already know that 2 pi is equals to 360, isn't it? A full circle, right? The another 2 pi is equals to 360, also a full circle. 2 plus 2 is 4, so we have 4 pi's. This one now is what gave us this formula that we use. Okay, so now we don't want to calculate for 1,440-degree flay. It simply means that we are still going to have another 2 pi, another 2 pi. because we need 4 of this 360. So that when you say 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, that's 8. We have 8 pies. So what it simply means, if you don't want to also split your waste into 2, divide it by 6.28, then you start, using your answer to start cutting 1, 2, 3, 4. You can just as well go straight and say 8 pi times 3 points. 8 pi times 3.14. What will that give us? Okay, so you multiply it. Whatever it is that it gives you is what you're going to multiply by your waist, or by whichever, circumference you are working with. Okay? So far, so good. I want to believe that when you see 90 degree, you know that, okay, you are multiplying it by 1.57. When you see 180, your mind goes to 1.14. When you see 360, your mind goes to 6.28. Then you see this 720, this 1440, they are just multiples of these fools, your full